Hey everybody, it is Hannah from Stonehouse Photo, and I am going to do a video on photographing fast-moving dogs and keeping them crisp. You will see from a lot of my photos a kind of a side view of animals going past, especially dogs. I use a lot of what's called panning when I'm shooting fast-moving dogs. But the first thing I'll talk about is actual camera settings rather than camera technique. For my settings for most photos of fast moving dogs, about 99% of the time I shoot on aperture priority, pretty low aperture numbers, 3.2, 3.5, that just tends to be how I shoot. My ISOs tend to be a little higher, just based on the fact, when I'm talking higher, I'm saying like 400, 800, and around there. I'm not like 2000 or anything unless it's inside. But when I'm shooting dogs, higher ISOs, lower aperture numbers, 3.2, 3.5, and I do a lot of following the dog around. So camera settings, we're doing 3.2 through 5 aperture. That keeps your shutter speed pretty high, and it keeps my look consistent. My consistent look is with the lower aperture numbers. So we have lower aperture numbers, higher ISO, 400 to 800 when we're shooting outside in bright. And then when I am doing that, I do a lot of panning of animals. And what I mean by panning is you are following the dog along from point A over here to point B over here. What you do is you shoot, and not on continuous mode. You shoot very deliberately as the animal is going past you and shooting as they go. And what you'll get is a lot of, with this particular photo, it was a little darker outside, so you see that this is a little blurry back here, but he is sharp because I'm following at him as he's going past me, and I'm not stopping shooting right here and looking down at my camera. What I'm doing is I'm shooting as he goes completely past, and I don't look at my camera until the dog is way gone and no longer in the frame of a shot. So you're starting, again, for panning, you're starting over here as they go by, you're shooting them as they come, and shooting as they go by. And you're going to get a little bit of motion blur in here, and that actually really helps to tell the story. We were talking about actual motion in the background. So I'm going to go through a couple of my shots and talk about different techniques I have for fast moving canines. So next we have the shot of dogs where they either have snow or they have water over them. And this is a really low aperture number. This is at 3.5. It was pretty bright out, so I think this was at 1/4000th of a second. And I'm shooting on aperture priority, probably 400, or I think this was ISO 400. And you're capturing the dog in motion, in action. And this is not a burst mode or continuous shooting mode shot. I'm taking these shots very deliberately. I don't have time to go through a bunch of extra photos just because I wanted to get one particular shot. I don't shoot on continuous or burst mode. I would really encourage you to work on not doing it because it takes up a lot of memory in your computer. It takes a lot of the camera, takes a lot of energy for the camera to take that many photos. And you'll just be a better photographer if you really work on not shooting in burst mode and instead shoot really deliberately. So again, low aperture number gets you a high shutter speed, which really captures them in crisp motion. And Rufus, this is another one. Low aperture number. This is about 3.5. He's coming towards you, and you're shooting as he's coming towards you. Bright light gets you a faster shutter speed when you have that lower aperture number, and so you're really capturing them in action. Yes, and this is, sled dogs. You want to capture them crisp, clean, in action, having a great time, which is what they're good at. Again, this was about 3.2. Actually, this was 3.5. And when I talk about 3.2 or 3.5, I'm talking about f-stops. My camera's are anywhere from, my lenses are anywhere from 2.8 for my 24-70 aperture number down to my 1.2, which is my 50 millimeter. And those make really fast lenses, meaning I can capture things really crisp and in stop action. So another sled dog. Sled dogs, as you probably know, are some of my favorites. I love working dogs. This is 3.5. This was a really high shutter speed as well. I think this was 1/2000th of a second, and I really wanted to capture him as he went by. So I got him right at the start of my panning, and this is with a longer lens, so that's why you see the compression that's in the background back here, because I'm zoomed in pretty close. And another fun one, sled dog. As you can tell, I really like the stop action pictures. This was lower aperture number, 3.5. You might be sensing a theme here. And about 1/1000th of a second. And I love this one. This is an oldie, but a good one. You can see my old copyright mark. This one, f3.5, and I think ISO 400, really capturing them in action. So the shutter speed was really high, showing them playing, capturing them in the moment. And this was a panning shot. I started over here and I shot as we went across and kept shooting and showing them playing and having fun. Vishla water ballet. This is another fun one. You can see the water droplets in here, really capturing them. This really tells the story of how much this dog loved the water, but also how poetic and graceful this animal is. She is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, so wonderful. So we did low aperture number. It's a 3.2. Is really bright out. You can't tell really from this since it's a black and white conversion. And you captured in action, stop motion water ballet. Another fabulous water dog. This was f3.2, which means, you know, it was really bright. You may have noticed I shoot a lot in f3.2 or f3.5. I'm kind of a woman of extremes when it comes to aperture numbers. So this was 1/4000th of a second, capturing them in the moment. Lake Superior, really showing the story of how they jump and play. You got the water droplets in here. You got the toy. This is Jackson having fun. And this is a fabulous, fabulous panning instance. This is a small dog. You want to show them in their element, show the size. This is with my 50 millimeter lens. This was at about, I think, 1.8, and I actually laid on the ground, which is why you can see I'm right at their level, and just going by, running, and going past, and having a lot of fun. But you shoot starting here, low aperture number, lowest you can get it, still being crisp, and you just follow them as they're going by and keep shooting, keep shooting. So, for shooting fast-moving canines, 3 things. Lower aperture number, which leads to a higher shutter speed number. Then you want to make sure your ISO is allowing you to have that high shutter speed. So if you are shooting at 3.2 or 3.5 and it's still only like 1/400th of a second or 1/800th, you know, put up the ISO number. The new cameras, noise isn't a problem at the higher ISOs, so just play with it, have some fun, and then really practice panning technique. Practice not shooting in burst mode. Stop yourself from shooting in burst mode. Instead, be really deliberate and specific about how you shoot an animal or a person going by you. Take photos starting, in this case, over here. Keep shooting as they go by, as they go by, as they go by. And don't stop like here and look at your camera and figure out what's going on. Instead, you should continue to shoot as they go by, and your photos will really improve. So I hope you enjoy this rather fast tutorial on taking better photos of fast-moving canines, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.